So you guys want to know how to get your FRS to sit like this.
One's a company, two's a crowd, three's a party coming, move around like fresh when the school is out, when the booze is up, when the sun is down. Enjoy the ride, got some pillows in the Chevy. Slide a dolly, low hitting heavy.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be doing some work to the FRS again. If you guys have watched some of our past videos, you've probably heard us mention that the rear is about as far as we can get it to go. I mean, we've cut off a lot off the frame, we've done everything we possibly can. The bags are actually completely aired out, or not aired out, what's the correct term?
It's bottomed out.
Bottomed out, so which is not actually good, so we want to fix that. So we've got some new parts that we will be installing today to hopefully solve that problem. Alright, and in this box here we have the adjustable toe arms, and then this one we have the Stance V2 lower control arms. Alright guys, well, we're going to get the car pulled into the garage so we can start getting everything installed. In the meantime, we'll do a little cold start for you.
Alright, and this is where it sits right now. This is as low as we can go with just the bags. The goal here is to get this to actually come down and be fairly close to the wheel when we're fully maxed out. Now, I'm not exactly sure how much clearance we have above the tire from where I cut, so that potentially could be an issue, and we may need to cut some more of the rear quarter in order to clearance out for this.
Okay guys, so starting off we're going to remove the stock lower control arm, and then we'll move on to the toe arm.
So what I did is I just put a little scissor jack underneath the tire over there just to support the weight. That way we can get these bolts out a little bit easier, and so once we pull the lower control arm, everything doesn't just fall down. It's not going to go very far, but just to be safe. Easy peasy when you got air tools. If you got them, use them. Alright, so we got these adjusted to be the same length. And basically what you do is you just put them on a flat surface, put them up next to each other, make sure these lock nuts are loose, and then you'll just twist this center piece and it will thread these out, or thread them in depending on which way you spin. And then we will do the same thing with the lower control arm. So when you go to adjust these, you have two different adjustments. You can either thread this bigger silver portion or this outer one. Now, if you don't adjust this one before you put it in, and all you're doing is adjusting this one, What the issue that I ran into is I needed a little bit more negative camber, so I was adjusting this one, and this actually just, it's not super long, and it actually came out. So you want to adjust these equally, because once this is installed, this one is going to be your main adjustment. Then this will thread down and then lock to this section, and then this is the lock nut for this portion. So just play around with it, get your camber where you want it and everything, but just know that there's two areas of adjustment on these, and you can go too far. So just make sure that the threads showing on here are roughly equal, and that there's no like play or flop or anything else like that, because then that kind of tells you that you're getting close to the ends of the threads. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and throw in our new adjustable toe arm. And these, if we didn't mention it before, are the SPC toe arms. Now, it comes with a little nut or a little bolt that goes into this threaded section here. That's only if your e-brake cable is attached to the factory toe arm, then this is here. So these actually work for FRS's, BRZ 86, as well as Imprezas like the WRX, STI, things like that. They're the same toe arms that those use, and I'm pretty sure that those are why this is here. But if you have an FRS, BRZ 86, you do not need to worry about this. Alright, so we got the new one in, and now we're just putting the castle nut back on. We'll tighten that down, make sure to line those up so you can put the cotter pin back through. And then we'll just reuse the factory bolt for back there and get that attached, and then that's pretty much it as far as install goes. And then obviously once we go in for alignment, they'll have to adjust this a little bit. Alright, so the bolt that is used here is like a camber bolt, and you have this little washer that goes on, and it's got this groove, and we're just gonna generally put this back in. Obviously we're not gonna get it exactly where it needs to be, so for now just install it. Everything will line up a certain way, and you'll know exactly when it goes in. But just throw this back on, and then you can throw the nut on and tighten all that back down. So right now is a really tight fit, so I'm just using a large screwdriver to just pry it out, just so she can get that
I think that's like
pushed in there.
Okay.
Now we'll just work our way down. I'm gonna actually adjust the bags down a little bit, because as you can see, they're completely bottomed out. So since this drops at about 2 inches itself, I'm gonna raise this up probably another inch or so until I can't see the threads in that opening. All right, so the bag is deflated now, nice and squishy. So we'll go ahead and line this one up to the hub, get that attached, and then I'll come in with a jack and lift this up so we can actually get those two installed. And I'm just lifting this up so we can actually get those in. You have to make sure these are clear. I'm gonna throw the wheel back on and put the jack underneath that just to get it up to see where it's gonna sit once we're fully aired out, and then make some little adjustments till I get it where I want it. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Look at this. I mean, there's no gap. It's actually bowing out the kit itself slightly. But that is what we are looking for right there. We'll go ahead, mess around with this a little bit, get it really dialed in, but for just a first attempt and everything, that is almost perfect. Fitment is like amazing, and now I'm not a stance guy, but when you have a vehicle like this, you kind of to get that show effect and look, you kind of need to have that stance boy life. So before you lower it off the jack stands and everything, if you are on bags and you air it out in order to compress the bags, make sure to air them back up. Well, I don't think our jack is going to be fitting underneath here anymore. So much camber. Not used to that. That exhaust is going to be so close to the ground once it's actually off those little ramps. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get cleaned up a little bit. White leather seats, suede seats. Don't want to be getting any of this dirty. I'm going to go inside, get cleaned up, and then we'll get this thing outside and air it out for the first time with the new Stance V2 lower control arms and SPC toe arms. Guess we could do another cold start for you. Yeah, I think that's good. Wow. What do you think, Nike, huh? We accomplished getting the rear to be damn near perfect. Alright, so driving it now, just city speeds, 35, 40 miles an hour. It definitely needs an alignment. It feels stable. Doesn't feel super goofy or anything else like that, but if you can tell, this is me pretty much going straight. And now I didn't mess with anything in the front, so I know that the alignment is still the same up there. So I think it's basically crab walking right now. Because I'm going straight, the wheels turn, and the only thing I messed with was the rear. These speeds, doesn't feel half bad. So the car is drivable, and we'll find out here in a second how it is on the highway. So we're on the highway now, driving, and don't feel anything weird. Feels pretty much normal. Steering wheel's still crooked. The other thing that I noticed is the little traction control or stability control or slippery road conditions symbol, I don't know what you want to call it, is on the dash. So I'm wondering if I don't know what these have, if they have speed sensors in the rear or anything else like that, but I'm wondering if I may have put stress on one or damaged it now that it lowers down so much further. But I may have damaged a speed sensor or something like that. So I'll look into that. Otherwise, I mean, the rest of the car feels great, feels normal. And I mean, it drives no hands on the wheel right now. It pulls slightly to the right, which for an alignment, even from the factory, they're supposed to do that. Just so if you fall asleep at the wheel or anything else like that, you go towards the ditch